Hey guys, welcome back to Vicky Reviews. It's the early morning. It's currently 9 a.m. over here. I currently have a sore throat, so if I sound weird, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get videos out to you guys, and I want to get over this thing. So I might take a little bit of breaks to get some relief for my sore throat. But the show must go on. I still want to talk to you guys about fragrances. Today we're talking about Lattafa's Teriaq. Where's the label for this? There it is. Teriaq. Lattafa's Teriaq, that's what we're talking about today. Honestly, I was gonna review this months ago. I've owned this one for a while. I was gonna review it, I think 2 months ago, and I decided not to. Mainly because when I first sprayed it and wore it, I didn't like it at all. And thought that maybe it needed more time in the chamber, it needed more time in the bottle to kind of chill, to macerate, to mature before I give it a fair shot, because it turned me off immediately. And I thought it was maybe it just needed time to grow before I could give it a fair shot, because otherwise I was just gonna pan it throughout. And I didn't think it was fair for it to be just told that it sucked. So, especially when people were talking positive things about it. So I decided to give it some time. I did give it some time. I tested it out again, and these are my thoughts for it. So this is a Lattafa fragrance. This is nothing close to Teriaq Intense. This is a completely different animal from Teriaq Intense. This is a delicate, female-oriented scent based on bitter almond, based on leather, musk. It has a bunch of different things on it. But let's first talk about the bottle. The bottle has this coiled snake on top. It's very pretty. The bottle is like a blush pink. Has blush pink accents, it's transparent, and it has gold snake and a gold bottom. It's a very elegant looking bottle, but it's leaning very feminine. Let's do a quick spray. I remember when I first sprayed this, I didn't like it, mainly because all I got was soap. All I got was like a very hard hit of soapiness, and it was very screechy. I had my brain wired to expect the notes that it was saying that it was supposed to have. So the notes for this are supposed to be, the top notes are supposed to be pink pepper, caramel, bitter almond, and apricot. The middle notes are supposed to be honey, white flowers, rhubarb, and rose. And the base notes are supposed to be vanilla, leather, labdanum, musk, and vetiver. So those are the general notes for this. But when I first smelled it 2 months ago, what I got was immediate soap, immediate, almost hand sanitizer vibes. Like alcohol plus soap equals harshness. And it just didn't jive with me at the beginning. And I remember wearing it once or twice and thought, no, this is definitely not for me. I don't know if this is something anybody would like, but for me personally, I hated it. So I kind of banished it to the back of the case, and I thought, at least I have a nice looking bottle, but I don't like the scent at all. So I let it mature, I let it macerate, and then about a week ago, I decided to try it again. And the scent has changed, but some things haven't. So when you first spray it, you do get initial harshness or screechiness that comes off as soap. I think that's the musk coming out. To me, I perceive that muskiness as a soapiness, a very strong soapiness. There is supposed to be some almond to this, but the almond that's there is very, very, very subtle. This is not an almond that, Sir, this is not an almond that is very powerful. It's not a sweet almond either. It's kind of there. You have to deeply inhale it to get a semblance of that almond, but honestly, it's not there that well. And when I kind of try to find it, I can perceive it, but otherwise, if you didn't tell me there was almond in it, I probably wouldn't be able to pick it out as easily. The overriding smell of this is sweetness coming from that apricot at the beginning, and florals, and then that musky soapiness. I sense no leather in this. I sense no warmth. I sense no pink pepper. I don't sense any spiciness or warmth from this. It's mostly sweetness and florals. That's what I get from this. It's a very female directed scent, but I hesitate to recommend it towards females just because of that soapy scent. But others might perceive it differently because of that leather in it, because of that vetiver in it, because of that spice in it. Some people might perceive it more than I do. But honestly, I don't get it that much. Every time I do a review, a lot of you ask me about how things compare to other scents, and especially scents that you have. I decided to do a giveaway. How's that gonna work? I created a form that's gonna be in my YouTube description. All you have to do is complete the form, which is writing your name, writing what fragrance you're interested in, and how you want me to contact you. 1 week after I posted that video, I will contact 3 individuals from that form and get their shipping information to send them a 2 milliliter decant of the fragrance I was talking about. If you're not sure that the notes I'm mentioning and the vibe that I'm describing works for you, you can test it out for yourself now. You don't have to blind buy the scent. And then be ready to get your decant in the mail. In terms of online buzz, in Fragrantica, this has a 3.91 out of 5 with 1,310 votes. So I would not consider this a extremely good performer. I've noticed that things that have over 4.0 are generally liked. This has a little bit below 4.0, so I think this is generally controversial, kind of mid. So I guarantee that some people are not vibing with this, like I'm not necessarily vibing with this. Online, people more or less praise the composition of this scent. They say that it's unique, and it does smell generally unique. Nothing I have is exactly smelling like this, but I don't know if I would want anything that I have to smell like this. They also praise its longevity, and they also praise its sweetness. It is a very sweet scent. That background sweetness is very nice. It's a sweet scent that isn't overpoweringly sweet. So it's a deep sweet, not a light sweet like others. So what I mean by that is, you know, there's like a cloyingly sweetness that some scents have. This one doesn't have that. This one has a sweetness that is deep. So it doesn't feel, it's grounded in something. It doesn't feel like it's overpowering you with just sweetness. There are other things there to support it that make it less of a sweet is your forward thing. So that, I think that's what this is doing, and that part is nice. I like the sweetness level of this. This is a nice sweetness level. Some people say it's too sweet. That's a negative. Some people say that it's really suitable for summer months. It's a little bit too loud for summer months. It's more like a winter scent. That might be a little bit true. As this dries down, this turns into a more warm scent, but on my skin, personally, the soapiness tends to come out more with time. So the more I have this on, the soapier it gets. And by the end of the day, it just feels like I just took a shower all day. So it just feels like I just got out of the shower and I smell like Dove soap throughout the day. That's essentially the vibe I get all day as I wear this. So at first it's like sweetness with some florals, and then by hour 2 or 3, as it dries down, there's like some sweetness with soapiness that stays. And that's pretty much it. So if you want to smell clean, if clean is your goal and your skin reacts that way to it, then this is definitely maybe what you were looking for that, because that's what it got for me. Like I never felt fresher, like freshly clean, as I did when I wore this. This just gave me like, ooh, I just showered and I feel fresh and clean throughout the entire day, which is a nice feeling to have, but it's just not what I'm looking for. That's not my vibe. In terms of projection and longevity, so this stayed active throughout the entire day. Hour 1, this projects around 6 feet. By hour 3, it kind of dies down to about 2 feet. And then by hour maybe 4 or 5, it turns into a bubble. It kind of always sticks around you. It never really projects that far, and I never really got compliments for this, so I don't know how perceptible it was for people. And I think since it came off as soapy to a lot of people, they might just have thought that I changed like soaps or body washes. So I don't think this is something a lot of people would comment on because it's not a distinctive scent per se. That's the general vibe of this in terms of performance. It's a pretty good performer. It stays around all day. It is kind of a projector, but not a super strong projector, just strong enough that you notice it's there. And then the compliment factor, it was generally low. I've gotten compliments on a bunch of things, but for me, this scent specifically has been a generally low compliment factor. The vibe this gives me, like I said, it gives me freshly clean vibes. So if that's the general vibe that you want to go for, that's 100% it. Oh no, I dropped the thing. I don't consider this a gourmand scent at all. I know a lot of people do, but in my personal experience while using this, I don't consider it a gourmand scent. Nothing to me smelled edible at all while wearing this, so I wouldn't put it in the line of gourmands that I have. I have a lot. I'm a gourmand lover. Nothing this produces would fall into that line of scents for me. So what is my final rating for Lattafa's Teriaq? For projection and longevity, like I said, I think for projection, I would give it like an 8. For longevity, I would give it a 10. And for scent, soapy vibes, sure. I think I would give it an 8 myself, mainly because it's not something I would necessarily reach out for. Soapy vibes or clean vibes is not something I actively search for. So for longevity, I would give it a 10 because it lasts pretty much all day. For projection, I would give it like an 8 because it's not as strong of a projector as other fragrances that I have. And then for scent, personally, I would give it maybe an 8 because to me, it is not a scent that I would gravitate towards. Clean vibes is not necessarily something I would personally want. To me, I prefer my vanillas and my almonds to be gourmand, or I prefer it to be something else. This kind of rides a weird line that I'm not particularly fond of. So I'm not looking for clean boy, clean girl vibes. I'm not looking for freshly showered smells. I just want my gourmands to be gourmands and other things to be other things. This is not something I would gravitate towards, but this is not necessarily something made for me. What do you guys think? Is this something you would be interested in? Did you get it already? But let me know your thoughts. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember that scents are subjective. What I perceive isn't necessarily what you'll perceive. And always remember to smell your best. See ya.